Alright, let's try this again. This is my 1985 Chevy Celebrity Coupe. I've had this car about 7 months now, but I've never made a video about it because up until now this car actually hasn't been very drivable. I had to find a better location to record because it's getting very windy here. There's a cold front coming through. They say it's an Arctic blast, a rare May Arctic blast, and it's going to hit here, so everything's really windy today. So I'm using the local school here, which is not doing anything right now, as you full well know, so I can shield the microphone from the wind somewhat. I bought this car from a friend in Stewart, Iowa. He was kind enough to bring the car here for me. The car did run and drive, but it was just very tired feeling. The engine that it had in it was a replacement engine, and it was very, very high mileage. It didn't work real good, so I had a spare GM 2.5 liter Iron Duke. I had it rebuilt by a local shop that didn't do very good. This isn't a Smash Talk video, so I'm not going to mention their name and I'm not going to call them out, but when I first got the engine in, it had no oil pressure. Then I had to take the engine out, take it back. They repaired it at their expense. They forgot to put a lifter gallery plug in, or not a lifter gallery, an oil gallery plug behind the timing gear. They didn't put it in. And the engine wasn't damaged, fortunately. I did have to rent a U-Haul at my own expense and haul the car out to them because they wanted to see the car. You know, a car with no oil pressure that I can't drive the 15 miles, so I had to rent a U-Haul dolly and tow it out there at my expense, but whatever. They fixed the engine, I get it home, then I have to do even more work on it because the young technician that did my engine damaged a bunch of the covers, which he just bent them up because they're thin metal, and you could tell he didn't care, and it was just a real shabby experience. I left him a proper Google review. I'm not going to take it much further than that. But this is an 85, so it's got the original fascia. It's a coupe, which is rare. It's two-tone, which is also rare. It's got the older taillight treatment. My collector license plate. It's got the Chevy Rally wheels. It does unfortunately have some body rot right there. A little tiny bit on the door right there, but honestly it's really clean. It's more of a base model car, but it does have some options on it, which are nice. Air conditioning, comfort tilt, cruise control. It runs and drives pretty darn good. I actually really like this car now that it's a runner driver. Get out of the window a little bit. It's got the older dashboard. Radio out of a later model Blazer, like a 95. It's got a Euro Sport steering wheel for the early Euro Sports, but that's not proper. That was put in. I'm actually getting the original Chevy wheel back, and I'm trading this back to the guy I got the car from. It says 983 miles, which some would say it's 100,983. I think it's like 200. With how tired that engine was that was in here, if that was the original engine. Very nice, clean interior. It's a split bench, so it's got the thing in the middle. Nice big back seat. Beautiful headliner and visors. It's just a really nice car. Like, I'm really happy about this. It does still have a small stalling issue when you restart it. I'm thinking maybe it's got a vacuum leak from the brake booster, but once it's running and it's good. This new engine runs fantastic, even with a little bit of a headache with the unprofessional engine shop. She's a driver. I'm really happy with this. I upgraded to an aluminum timing gear that I found through the Fiero website. I think it's Pencock's Fieros. The Fiero came with the same exact engine. Literally the same exact engine that's in the front drive cars is in the Pontiac Fiero. And those guys love to hop these up because most of the Fieros, maybe I'd say half and half are V6, half are four bangers. And they hop up the four bangers. Well, these engines came with a fiber timing gear originally from the factory. That gear is known to break teeth off when it gets old because it gets brittle. And like hard use also breaks those gears. So like beating on it and stuff like that. Well, I drive on the highway a lot, which with a 3-speed automatic, which this car is equipped with, it runs pretty high RPMs on the highway. I like to do 70, 75 to keep up with traffic, so upgraded the timing gear. It's got a new camshaft, lifters, bearings, cam bearings, oil pump. We used a high volume oil pump. It's got rockers, push rods. Pretty much everything was rebuilt. The engine's bored 30 over, new pistons, new rings. Did reuse the crankshaft, did reuse the connecting rods because those were all still in pretty good shape with the spare engine I had. I rebuilt the head myself, all new seals, new valve springs, new valves all lapped into their seats. Everything's good in the head. The car has a new throttle body carburetor, which is basically just a sprinkler on top of the throttle body spitting fuel, and that's how these work. New radiator, water pump, the whole cooling system's new. Just, I put a lot of work into it. And it's finally a really, really decent driving car. Just thought I'd finally make a video of it. I'm just very disappointed in the engine shop, honestly. It was my first experience rebuilding an engine. I mean, I'm competent with pretty much all repairs, but I don't have the measurement tools and I don't have the experience to rebuild the inside of an engine myself. I could guess my way through, but for the kind of money an engine rebuild costs, I don't want to just be blindly guessing. So I took it to a professional, and that professional could see I was inexperienced and didn't really know what they were talking about. And they kind of took me. The engine rebuild cost $1,400, which was $300 more than everybody else around here after I got the quote later. Just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a real shame, but it is what it is. I've got a working car with a basically brand new engine, so I am very happy about that. But alright guys, this video is running a little longer than they usually do, and I really shouldn't go over 5 minutes, so alright, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy.